It feels good to be refreshed physically, and all of us have different ideas about how to get refreshed. God's word tells us that God is like a shepherd who takes care of us. He protects us from harm, and he makes sure we're nourished. One of the jobs of a shepherd is to provide the sheep with refreshment. This is why the writer of Psalm 23 says the Lord leads him into quiet places and lush spaces. Those things were refreshing to his soul. Have you checked on your soul lately? Sometimes when we haven't been refreshed by God, we end up living in a hurry. We keep our souls and minds busy from one thing to the next. We become anxious. After long enough, we begin to think there might be something wrong with us. In John 10:11, Jesus says that he is the good shepherd, and we are his sheep. This means that Jesus provides the right path that we should walk. Spiritual protection and guidance through prayer, and also spiritual refreshment for our soul. When we spend time with Jesus, part of his job is to refresh us. But in order to do that, we have to follow him in those quiet spaces. We have to leave the noise and notifications of the world behind us and learn the slow pace of Jesus. We don't have to hurry in our time with him. When we learn to quiet our souls by removing distraction, we can begin to enjoy simply being with Jesus. Then he will do his job of refreshing our souls that are parched and weary without him. So take some time today without distraction and spend time with Jesus. If you find that difficult, that's an indicator that your soul isn't used to resting. Your life will be so much healthier and satisfying if you make it a daily habit to be refreshed by God. All right, that was good for me, so I hope it was good for you. I don't know why I keep getting that feedback over here. Anyway, we're going to start off with a graduation ceremony for Jeff. So if Jeff wants to come up, we're going to present him with a... Just tell us a little bit, Jeff, about how your stay was and the progress you've made since you've been here.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Wonderful to see everybody here. It's a wonderful group of God's disciples in our presence. It's amazing. I came here from Keystone. I know it's cliche to say you don't know anything until you hit rock bottom, but I know what that feels like. I know everybody in here has been here and knows what that feels like. And I specifically remember that day, that time that I hit rock bottom. I had lost my family, or I was on the brink of losing my family, my wife, my marriage of 30 plus years, my kids, everything. And I still remember where I was, what time it was, where I was at, what I was doing when I finally relinquished and gave my life over to God. It was an absolutely amazing feeling. All my selfishness, all my problems, all my things just washed away. And it's been an amazing journey. I've found myself. I found a better person than I've ever been. And I cherish every moment that I've had here. I've found out what unconditional love was from you guys, from my wife, from my kids, and from God. And it's something that I'll carry on. Those songs were like, everybody knows how this is. You go to some place and you're in a certain place in your mind, and all of a sudden you hear a song or hear whatever, and it's just like, wow. Those songs, the words, my testimony is going to be the rest of my life. Right. Living it for God, living it for everyone else. I've spent 58 years living it for myself. Even when I had kids, even when I had a wife, I was living it for myself. And for now, I'm living it for everyone else. And I cherish Nikki, Dylan, Craig. You guys have changed my life. And through the grace of God, I will continue this, and I will continue to apply everything that I've learned. And I've just started. And like I said, my testimony will be the rest of my life, and live by 4 words for the rest of my life, and as thy will be done. Simple as that. So thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, now I think we're going to go into a testimony from Photong. Uh,
Whatever. All right. Man, this first time I'm talking in front of a group of people. You know, it feels kind of weird, but oh man, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how it all started. Let's see. I was born in Thailand. I came over here when I was like a year old to America, and I mean my childhood was pretty normal, just like growing up with stepdads, and most of the time it was growing up with a single mom, just me, my brother, and my sister. That's why she didn't really have much time for us, but we spent a lot of time together, me and my brother and my sister. And I mean, that's what I can remember about that young, but teenage years is that's where I think everything started. My addiction, my just like going a little wild. It's I think I tried my first line of meth when I was like 13. Yeah. So I mean, it's like I think it was just more to prove to people, because I was into all that gang stuff and everything, and it just, I don't know, I just did it to, it gets you going, you want to be the tougher gang, you just want to get high and just go start problems with people, and that's what got me in trouble. About 13, I spent most of the 13 to about 18 in detention centers. Yeah. So they let me out when I was like 18. And I mean, I was in treatment and with like so many facilities in like Minnesota, Iowa, South Dakota. I mean, I would get out for a couple weeks and get right back into trouble again, And I don't know, after I got out, probably 18, that's when I kind of straightened up for a little bit. I mean, you fast forward like 20 years, 25 years, like 7 kids later, I thought I could I never stopped using, I thought I could just use on the weekends and, everything would be fine, But then everything just caught up to me. It just, I never thought I'd be in this situation like 5 years ago, I had everything I needed. I had a wife, I had kids, I had cars, a place, and I just see that it can get taken away so fast, Just, I would say it all started with like the divorce. That really like broke me, Like you don't like some people you just don't know how it feels like when you work for like all your life for like this family, and it's just gone after that, That's why I cherish like families. I'm so happy when I see, parents with their kids, And oh, man, was it like 5 years ago I went through a separation, and it was a dark time, I mean, it went so dark. It was like I had a gun one time. I think I was in the bathroom, and it was cocked and everything. It was like straight to my head, and something intervened, It's like now I can see it. It's like my daughter knocked on that bathroom door. That's why, every time I see my daughter, Dylan, that's why I hug her so much, It's, I look at now, it is God, God sent her, And, oh, man, then one day I was at work, and all of a sudden my kids are gone. They're across the country, with the ex-wife now. And it's been like, what, 4 years, 3 years. And the past 3 years has just been a blur to me. I mean, I just let everything go, just let my addiction beat me, you know? Just let, I just didn't care anymore. I lost all my cars. I got evicted, and I just quit my job. I just didn't care anymore, you know? I started living in my car for like 2 years, just getting high every day and just meeting the wrong people. That's it. Like the past couple years here, I don't know. It's been. I feel like it's been like a broken man. You know, just like my heart was broken. My soul was gone. You know, and I just didn't have nothing to live for. And that's when I mean, it's just a blur to me. I just like every day just getting high, you know, and getting like, I've never had a criminal record since I was like a juvenile till about 2 years ago, you know. That's when all these charges started adding up. I think 2025, 24, I racked up like 6 felonies in a year. Yeah, and I didn't take care of any of those charges or anything till I got arrested the last time. It was January 14, 2025. Then after that, they didn't let me out no more. You know, they kept me in there till I had to take care of all my charges and everything. And I was mad, you know, but hold on, let's skip before that though. I was tired of living like that. Just every day the same thing, just waking up, getting high, and just, you know, don't know where you're sleeping, just sleeping in the car every night, you know. And I still remember January 13. I looked at myself. I told myself, I just talked to myself like, I don't want to live like this no more, you know. I lost my wife, my kids, you know, and I was sleeping in the car by myself in a blizzard. Then I just started talking to God. I was like, you know, if something or somebody is out there, you know, just hear me, you know. I prayed and I broke down crying, and I asked him, you know, I told him, you get me out of this mess, you know, I'm never gonna touch that stuff again, you know. And I mean it, you know. But then the next day, after I woke up, I guess I was driving around with a bunch of drugs in the car, and I got pulled over. Man, I was pissed off, you know. That's the last time they kept me in jail there, you know. And it was a rough time. I was mad at everything and everyone while I was in there, you know. But then a couple weeks into when I was sitting in there, this girl I was talking to, I found out she ODs and dies like February, I think, 7th. So I took that pretty hard. But then, you know, then a couple weeks later, I see this stabbing on TV on the news, and coming to find out that was like my best friend, you know. Man, inside I didn't know what to feel. I was just, you know, you feel anger, you feel like you could have done something if you weren't sitting in jail, you know. But then I started attending all the Bible studies in jail, and I started looking for answers, you know. Then I realized that God put me in there for a reason. It wasn't to it wasn't to punish me. It was to save me, you know. Because I could have been dead with a girl, you know, or I could have been dead with my buddy, or I could have killed somebody. I mean, I look at it as a blessing now. I'm not mad. It was just a rough time. That's when I started chasing God more like religious, you know. I didn't grow up like a Christian. I grew up as a Buddhist, you know. I went to temples and, you know, we worshiped like the Buddha, the monks and stuff, you know. But then, and I stepped back and I really looked, you know, like every time something serious was gonna happen to me, I see that it was God that intervened. It was, you know, I feel like grateful and I'm happy, you know, I feel blessed, you know. It's just, man, I mean, in a way I was like, I was mad too still, but then, cause I lost everything when I went to jail. I mean, I had all my stuff in the car, my green card, all my documents and everything. So I basically had to start off new again, you know, just scared, worried, but you know, all kinds of stuff going on with ICE and everything right now, you know. And I think I was in there for 6 months till they furloughed me to the Glory House. And I really couldn't do nothing at the Glory House because I couldn't work or anything because I didn't have no documents or anything. And that was a rough 5 months, you know. 5 months went by and I didn't know what to do. They said, you gotta go, you know, you can't do anything. We can't do anything for you, you know. Then somewhere, no, it was like, I kept attending the Bible studies there too. I mean, I started like going to church every Sunday. I mean, I even got baptized in July from the Bible study guys. That they took me to a church over here. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't really completely understand God, but I know He was there helping me. You know, I just wanted to go all in with Him, even though I didn't know everything first. You know, that's when I started chasing God more. I started reading the Bible more, and I was broken. I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Then, I mean, I had nowhere to go. My buddy was dead. The girl was dead. I mean, like, those are like the kind of the two main people that was in my life every day, you know? Then one day, I think a day before they told me to leave the Glory House, somebody told me about Wash Clean. And I'm happy they did, you know. They gave me a number. I called Craig, October 6th. Yeah, I came down here, made my way down here to meet with Craig, Dylan. I still remember that day, you know. And I told them what I was going through, and they accepted me, you know. They didn't judge me or nothing, and that's why I'm so grateful for this place, you know. I love this place. I love the Craig, Nikki, Dylan, everybody here, you know. It's made me grow a lot spiritually, you know. I was so broken, and even the green card situation, you know, I had LSS help me with that, and it was supposed to be like a 28-month wait till I get it, but I came here, you know. Me and Craig prayed about it, and after I got here, within a week, I mean, I got it. I mean, that's, I mean, that's when I that's when I realized the power of God, the power of prayers, you know. Because they really work. God, He hears you. He sees the tears that you cry, you know. I realize that now, and I realize I haven't been a good son, you know. That's what I strive to be now, you know. I look at my kids, the way I care about them, the way I would do anything for them, that's what God would do for us. Oh, man. After the green card, then I was able to get my Social Security card. I mean, it took a lot of work, probably like 5, 6 months. I came here with nothing, you know. I feel like God's been working on me. Yeah, I've got my Social Security card, green card. I was able to get a car here. I was able to get restrictions lifted on my license, get my license back. I mean, I was able to grow closer to my kids too. You know, my grandkids come visit me here, and I thought it would be impossible for me to ever see my daughters again in South Carolina. But then Craig made it happen. Craig and Dylan, Nikki, they made it happen, you know. I'm really grateful for that. It really, you know, I feel like, I feel more joy and happiness now. It's not that dark, you know, broken man anymore, you know. I mean, just like I don't feel no shame, no guilt, you know, nothing. I just keep chasing Jesus more, and what a awesome Savior He is, you know. I've learned to let everything go, and just, you know, why hold on to everything, you know. It's just, oh man. My mind's going blank right now. Oh man, but I'm really happy and grateful for this place. You know, this place really works if you're done running around. You know, if you want to be restored, if you had enough out there, this place really works, man. It's just not a place; it's a family too. It's family, and man, I don't know where I would be without this place. You know, I really don't. I would probably be down at the Dudley or the, you know, this place helped me out a lot, you know. That's why I would do anything for this place. Now, I mean, I've been restored. I feel like I've been restored. I mean, just my heart's been, you know, put back together. Now I feel like I should do more work for the ministry, you know. I think that's what God has a plan for me. It's just to spread out there and lead people to Jesus, you know, because I know He helped me when I was at my lowest. You know, He's always there. He's never going to leave you. So I'm so grateful, you know. All right.
Thanks, Photong. All right, Dave's going to come up and share a little bit too.
How you guys doing this evening? I just want to start out. Thank you, Nikki. Thanks, Dylan. I know Craig's not here. We'll miss him a little bit. Hopefully he's feeling better. Kind of like Futon, I'm just going to start. You know, I was born in Valparaiso, Indiana. Had a loving mother and father. They did everything for us kids. You know, I was just, I don't know, a misfit. I did everything wrong. By about 14, I stole cars, ended up in juvenile, went to forestry camp, went to McCrossin Boys Ranch. 14 before I was 18, I got sentenced to federal prison. After that, I got out and did good for a little while and found a good woman and had kids. And I was masking everything, still using, selling, running around, stealing car, you name it. Went from there, destroyed my family completely to where that was not fixable. Ended up back in prison. I mean, same thing over and over and over, you know, and then as I got older, I'd get out, violate, go back, get out, violate, go back. I mean, it was just a revolving door. That was my life. I guess I enjoyed it, you know. But looking back, you know, I sit here and I evaluate a lot of things now, and I look back at all the time that I wasted. And, you know, I've been here a short time, a year and something, and I can't tell you how much God has re-innovated things in my life. You know, my kids, they call me, they text me. I've got to hang out with them, which I never thought I'd be able to do. I mean, I could go on, but I mean, the most important things in my life I've learned from this book. You know, and when I got here, Craig said, all you got to do is pick this thing up. And I thought he was crazy, and I told him I was going to prove him wrong, and I did, and it proved me wrong. I mean, I read and read and read and read and read, and a lot of it I didn't understand. And even today, I read a lot of this, and a lot of it I don't understand. And Peter Barnes was here, and I just kind of been listening over to his sermon, and I listen to a lot of Walmack, and I listen to a lot of different things that Craig recommends, you know. And the one thing he recommended is me going and following the big book of the AA Alcohol Anonymous, you know, and being able to do that, it's brought me closer to God. And I was so confused when he said that, but now today, that is just as much part of my life as this Bible is. But, you know, for and first most, I owe everything to God, not to anybody else, you know, and I got to keep on remembering that the God is, he puts me in a place. What I do with the place that he puts me in, that's up to me. And it's been a struggle, but it's been a good struggle now. I'm not fighting with myself. I'm not out doing wrong things. And believe it or not, I don't even like leaving this place. If I do, I want to be with somebody. I don't know if that's just because I've got so used to being here, and there's so many good people in these rooms. And no matter what, I know I can go to any one of these gentlemen and say, hey, I got something going on, and you want to know what? They'll give me the shirts on their back, which is amazing. I could never do that on the street. If I was going to ask you for something, it was, okay, what are you going to rob from me? You know, I don't worry about any of that. And one good thing too is it says if you think you are standing strong, be careful not to fall. The temptation in your life are no different from the other experiences, you know. But I have faith, you know, and it says, and God is faithful. He will not allow any temptation to be more than I can stand, you know. And one thing I've learned a lot, when I'm reading these, I don't care if it's talking about Paul, Peter, I put my name in those subjects. It's not any of those, this is me. And it's been so good to analyze things like that. And you want to know what? Thank you, Craig, because he's the one that taught me that. You know, here, do this. Put yourself in these situations. When you're thinking about the story, put yourself in that story, you know. If they were walking down and they were pulling some wheat, and, you know, put yourself in them situations. And I found that by doing those things, and I'm reading this book and I'm doing all these things, guess what? Now I'm starting to understand them, because it's me. It's not that person, it's me. You know, God writes in these books, and he gives us a manual. And the best thing I can say is every one of these words are just mere suggestions. I have the choice to either agree with what it is or not agree. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of conversation with God because there's a lot of things going on in my life, and I'm like, why? I don't understand it. And he always says, you don't need to understand that yet. And it drives me nuts because I'm the kind of person, I want to know. But, you know, Peter went over something in Hebrews 10. And I don't even know how to really even say this, but it says, the old system under the law of Moses was only the shadow, a dim preview of the good things to come, not the good things themselves. And I was like, what the heck are you talking? You know what I mean? And I got this highlighted, and when I listened to his message and the way he iterated the whole thing and broke it down, it's talking about the old law. And I find myself, now I'm looking at it, I find myself just like them in the old law. I try to integrate that back in. But when I should realize that when God shed his blood, I know I'm free. I don't have to be under any of that old stuff. But in my mind, and there's Craig again, sorry, our mind will tell us something different. And it's so amazing being at this house. And Dylan, I've watched him do so much stuff for different people here. It's just amazing. And I ask Craig all the time, why do you keep on doing it? You know what they're going to do. But it's not me, he says all the time. It's the grace of God. And so I try to, no matter what I'm doing in my life now, I don't care if it's going and seeing the doctor, if it's going out with Tom or going with Dylan, we go out to a pool, whatever it is. I do it because I think that God is trying to show me something. No matter what the movement is in my life, God's always trying to show me something. I just need to pay attention. And it's so hard for us. We get in this fast-paced world, and we forget about all the little things. And I found that if every day I can find 3 new blessings every day. So that's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do this for a month now, and let me tell you, it gets really hard. The first week was pretty easy because there's all kinds of blessings. But now I'm almost at 30 days, and let me tell you, you really have to think because you can't use the same blessings you've already wrote down. So now you got to find something new every day. And I would have never thought about that if it wasn't for people that Craig introduced me to, like Mike Nick. I mean, I can go down the line of people that Craig have brought into our lives, but are we utilizing these things? That's one thing I can say is any recommendation that Craig gives you, Dylan gives you, even Nikki. I mean, sometimes Nikki's kind of hard on us, but, overall, and I mean this truly, guys. Any of those 3 people at any given time, if you have any problem, and one thing I've learned here, as long as you don't lie to Craig, he will literally give you everything he has to make sure it happens for you or it's taken care of. And it's just crazy. You ain't going to find that anywhere else. And there was a gentleman that just got here, and he was talking about all this, and I told him that. I'm like, man, no matter what you're going through and how it is, as long as you're 100% up front with Craig, he'll make sure that it works out for you. And I've been here long enough. I've seen the people that try to do these slick things or not doing anything, and I've did it myself when I'm here. So don't get me wrong. I decided I wasn't going to work the steps. I had it all figured out. Craig will let you go until he says, "All right, you going to do something now?" He gives us the rope to hang ourselves, but he only lets you get so far because he loves us. Just remember, everybody that's in this house loves you. And I mean truly loves you. You know what I mean? I've watched you come in here and grow and start chairing meetings. Jordan, we were just talking about Jordan. I mean, when he came in here and he was back there, all he did is slept in his bed. Now, I can go down the line. Tom, he barely moved now. I can get him to go to meetings. And I can go down the line of the people that are here that have seen the difference in the growth in them. You know, since we've started this little deal with Jeffrey and we all started doing the program and started going to AA and, you know, doing our books and doing recovery, look at how strong we've got, guys. And I am proud of each and every one of you. You know, it's a blessing to see you in the morning, Kevin, because I know either you're going to be grumpy and you didn't get enough sleep or you're going to have a smile on your face, you know. But, and Eli, you know what I mean? I can go around the room. You know, this young kid, I knew him before we came in here. And I can tell you right now, from when I seen him on the streets to where he is right now, he is a totally different person. You know, but that's because of everybody that's here. This kid didn't just get that. He got to come in here and he got to find love. True love, not this, okay, well, you want to know what? I want to borrow something. I love you today. You know, it's honest, true love. Somebody's going to help you. You know, and I just want to say thank you for letting me share, Dylan. Thank you, Nikki, for all you always do for all of us. You guys are a blessing. And Futon, I don't know where you escaped to over here, but just a minute. But, man, I'm proud of you too, man. You know, I mean, there's so much more I wanted to read out of here, but I'm just telling you guys, man. Craig isn't joking when he says get up in the morning. Spend some time in your word. And does it suck, guys? Yes, it does. I hate it. But you want to know what? Now that I've been doing it, it's not a problem. It's a routine. It's something I do. I get up, I pick up my Bible, I read it. I don't need to send out a bunch of texts. I don't need to do a bunch of things. I hurry up and do my reading. Then I got all day. If I need to take a nap, I'll go take a nap. But just at least find an hour before we come to our devotionals in the morning, and I guarantee it'll change your life because it's changed my life. And if somebody like me can change, that means everybody in this room can change. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. But I love all you guys, and I'm going to give it over to Dylan because I'm pretty sure he's got something positive to say too.
Yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit from mine and Photong's trip to South Carolina. So beautiful with his kids, and just was really exciting to see them. And it was like you were never gone, you know. That was the yeah. It was. I mean, it was a lot easier than I envisioned on the kids and on him, and just the transition of not seeing them for so long. But we were in Greenville, South Carolina, and we wanted to go to Elevation Church, and that was kind of our plan, you know. And we kind of, I'll fill you in on the story. I got pretty bummed out. So we drove 2 hours to Charlotte, and there was a 9:30 service and 11:30 service, and we didn't know Priscilla Schreier was going to be there. So we get there. Well, we didn't get to see her, but God showed me something. So the 9:30 service is live. The 11:30 service is, they show the 9:30 service on the screen. So, but God revealed something to me, and that I was kind of irritated when we got into the service, and the Lord spoke to me, and He just said, "Are you here to see her, or are you here to meet me?" You know, like when we're hearing the word, like when you're hearing the word, like it doesn't matter if you physically see that person or how anointed that person is, because if we have the Holy Spirit in us, that's more than any person is going to, you know, put into us. So that was a revelation for me, because I was really excited to, one, see Stephen Furtick, and and we didn't know she was going to be there until we got inside. But anyway, so we were kind of bummed out, but it was awesome. It went too fast, but it was good. I want to congratulate Jeff one more time. Thanks for the hard work that you put in. And thanks for the 2 testimonies, Photong and Dave. And I think that's what we got. Thank you so much for coming.